Hello and welcome to the audio commentary for the second episode entitled Mr. Deadpool Goes to Mutant Town. I'm sorry it took so long to upload this video. I really wanted to do it with Tom Andre as a guest. He played Multiple Man in this episode, but our schedules just didn't add up, and now he's going to be abroad for the next few weeks. So I decided to go ahead and do it by myself. This scene has both Deadpool and Agent X in it, and the makeup was done by Angie Austin. I think she did a great job. I really wish we had a better camera at the time and better lighting for this scene so that you could more accurately see it. Uh, Especially the Deadpool makeup. You can see the Agent X makeup pretty well. But I really feel like she captured what Deadpool's tumors looked like in Cable Deadpool, which was the most recent version of the tumors at the time. Uh, I also think that Cable Deadpool is the best version of the tumors to date. It's a lot better than the older stuff because his older stuff looked sort of gravelly and inorganic. And in Way's book, it's a lot simpler. It really just looks like Deadpool just has really bad acne or something. So it's not as interesting to look at. Uh, I I I really like the interactions between Agent X and Deadpool here. I'm playing the both of them. I decided to do that because Agent X was confused for Deadpool and they're drawn very similarly. So I thought it was important that, them both be played by me. And so I had to, stuff like a whole bunch of padding to make myself look 300 pounds and stuff like that. Here's Casey in the suit. He did the stunts and the choreography for most of all three seasons. There are a couple episodes where it's an exception, but for the most part, he's done all of them. Here's the Morlocks. This is our first fight scene and our first use of Vision, as you can see right there. I think it's pretty interesting to think about Vision, and I understand why Daniel Way went overboard with it because it's so easy to write and so much fun to write that you can really overplay it, and he did, and people got tired of it. Looking back on this fight scene, it really shows how far we've come. I don't think this fight scene is bad, but the stuff that we do now, it's a lot more intricate. We understand, angles for how to make punches look good. But most importantly, is the, putting music into a fight scene. There's no music in this fight scene, and it makes the pacing really off kilter. you if you have music, it really covers up the spots where there's nothing going on. Like if you're winding back from a punch, there's not really anything happening there, and it throws everything off if there's no music there. Jackson Hilly as Leech there. He actually was ad-libbing both the Ultimate Nullifier lines. I thought it was funny, so we kept it in. And the other Morlocks as Enoch Smith, Joe Bruskin, and Michael Antosh. Here's me in the suit now. Luckily, there weren't ever really two shots right next to each other, with Casey in the suit and me in the suit, because there's like actually a 30-pound difference between us, which you can tell. I mean, just looking at it. But it's not as obvious because there's never a shot where it's like, oh, there's Casey, and then there's me. So, I mean, people didn't really comment on it, people didn't really say anything about it, so I don't think it really bothered anybody that much. Here's Angie Austin playing Siren. She also did the makeup, as I said earlier. I really feel like this episode is my favorite of the first season because it accomplished what I was trying to do with the show probably better than any other episode, in which it was a story that could have happened in the comics. Deadpool has a previous established relationship with all the characters who he interacts with for the most part. Um, the Siren and Jamie Madrox were both pretty prominent players in Deadpool's original ongoing book, and I really wanted to see them show up again in Deadpool's book, or have him, make an appearance in the X Factor book, which he sort of has. There's been a couple references and a brief cameo, but I'd really like to see, Peter David do something with that. I think it'd be pretty cool. That's a pretty easy effect. A lot of people actually ask, how'd you do that? It's just overlaying two videos, and you can actually see the crease pretty easily in that shot because the lighting was a little off. I really have to say it was so hard to shoot these scenes because it was the middle of winter and it was so cold. That suit does not retain heat at all. Luckily, I had a little bit of blubber to keep me warm, but Casey did not, and he was in absolute agony the entire time. Coming up here is the Purifiers. They are a pretty big part of this episode. They are in the second fight scene. This pool vision part here was what I was talking about. The fact that it's so easy to write. That was just them messing around, and I just happened to have the camera on, and I decided to add it in after the fact. And it is a second bit of pool vision. It wasn't in the script, and it just shows you how easy it is to put pool vision in and sort of fit. Uh, There's Jackson Hilly again as Boulevard Trask. Yeah, he was double cast in this episode. We did that a lot. If there was ever a point where someone's face would look different due to makeup or a mask, they would probably be playing more than one character in the episode. There was actually an episode where I myself had played three characters, including Deadpool. Uh, it's just I work with a lot of actors. I am in theater and in the film industry and stuff like that. But even so, it's hard to find people who are dependable, who will work for free. Or well, I mean, I pay in food. But most of these people are my friends. They like comic books. Not everyone has the openest schedule, and so you cast the same people again, or in the same episode, or like Stephen Shaw, who after episode 4 I think is in like 90% of the episodes. A, because he has combat experience, but B, because he's a good actor and he liked doing it. So that's something that I really wanted to do, but never really got around to, is have Deadpool comment on the fact that why does everyone's face look the same? Who's drawing this book? But we never found the appropriate place for it. In this fight scene was a lot more structured than the first fight scene of this episode. The first fight scene, it was like, okay, so you can basically do whatever you want. But this fight scene had like dialogue in it, and I had stuff that I wanted to have in it, like multiple man fighting two people in the same shot, and then Deadpool talking to multiple men while being beaten up. Uh, but again, I think that it turned out well. Probably would have been better with music again, but of course we hadn't thought of that. And here's me in the suit. That's probably the closest point where you'll see Casey in the suit and then me in the suit. And man, you can see the spit in my mask there. That's showing how cold this is, because it's just not going anywhere. A funny thing about this scene right here is Derek's character, the terrorist, was not supposed to be in this scene. It was supposed to be another purifier who winds up taking Deadpool out, and Deadpool was going to wake up in a purifier cell, and that's what the next episode was going to be about. But the actor who was playing that purifier didn't show up, and it was just me and Derek for that shoot, and it was so cold. Like, it was, I think, 10 degrees below. So we literally got out, pointed the camera, got one take of everything, and then got back in the car and left. Uh, but since it was Derek's character who is now in place of this other character, it actually completely changed where the next episode was going. Because I already had Derek calling in, going, "Can I speak to a Mr. Deathstroke, please?" Which that was supposed to be the end of that joke. Like, that was just like, haha, they're the same, Deadpool's based off of Deathstroke. And that was going to be it. It wasn't supposed to lead anywhere. But since Derek's character, the terrorist, came back in the end of the episode, when Deadpool woke up, I decided to rope it back into that beginning joke. And Deathstroke was going to be there too. He was hired too. Uh, and I really think the next episode became a lot stronger for that. The idea of Deadpool and Deathstroke teaming up is probably one of the better ideas that we've done. If I had thought ahead a little more, I probably would have saved that for later on in the season. Because it's, you do something that cool, and then go back to business as usual. It can get a little underwhelming. But luckily that didn't happen with the season. And as you know, the next episode, the holding cell looks different, and Deathstroke's costume actually looks a little different. We went from little underwear to shorts. But yeah, so we'll pick this up in the next episode, guys.